Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I've been reading many articles so far coming from the corporate mass media here in the United States of America and Europe and Great Britain. I put Great Britain outside of the European media. Anyway, and stating and Ukraine all saying that because they're foreign nationals or foreign fighters fighting in Ukraine on Ukraine's side, Ukraine must be right, or its cause might be it is the right cause because look how many people support it, how many countries. And that's the false argument. Just to start with, it doesn't mean that if you have more people on one side they're necessarily right. They might. We all know that the world is full of stupid people more than smart people, so that will just oppose and destroy this argument. I mean, we don't have to guess. We know that for a fact, and I don't have to use Albert Einstein or studies and or IQ studies to support that. Anyway, yes, IQ. The military still uses IQ, so. For one kind of reason, they don't want idiots to be enrolled in the military and given a weapon, okay? So that tells you that they kind of believe in that. Anyway, with certain kind of medical conditions as well. So let's go and see what's going on here. And this article is the first not the first one actually, is the second article where I find, but it's more complete, let's put it this way. Article that talks about the foreign fighters who fight on the Russian side. And why do I'm going to give you just one example to tell you why democracy doesn't work when it's about truth or a lie or a good and evil. I'm just going to use Galileo Galilei. If you're familiar with Galileo Galilei, in the Middle Ages, and he claimed that actually it's the star that's the center of our universe that he saw here, and not the Earth. So not everything goes around Earth, but actually everything around us goes around the sun in this area. So that's what he said, something like that. Anyway, and that ran against the I think it's. I don't want to say stupid stuff, so I'm not going to mention that guy's name. I think it was Ptolemaic idea that the Earth is the center of the universe and everything revolves around. But this guy said no, it's not true. Actually, it's the sun and the galaxy or whatever we move around. And for that, they almost burned him on the stake. They being the church at that time. And everybody, most of the people, because there were some other ones who believe the same thing, like Giordano Bruno, who ended up bad, and others who said, well, this guy is right. They came with the same conclusion, and some of them were, this guy was under house arrest for about 10 years or 12 years, Galileo Galilei. He narrowly escaped the situation, and he was in a very tiny minority. And the majority was, no, what are you talking about? The Bible says, and the Ptolemaic idea, I think it was Ptolemaic, let me check. Yeah, Ptolemaic idea is the fact that the Earth is static and everything else goes around. Whew. Okay, I wasn't sure because I was talking about Ptolemaic, the another guy. Anyway, so in this case, we have a list of countries who support Russia, and I will give you the list of foreign nationals that fight on the Russian side. So let's see. So this article comes from Sputnik, and it's from today, which is the 10th of November 2022, and this is the title: Many US, Mexican, Central Asian nationals fight on LPR side, foreign ministry states. Now, Luhansk. Many nationals of the United States, Mexico, and Central Asian countries are fighting on the side of the People's Militia of the Luhansk People's Republic, LPR. as they are not indifferent to the fate of Donbass, the LPR foreign ministry has told Sputnik. But I don't know, we don't know the reason why they're over there. This, or have nothing else to do, or what's going on. When I say nothing else to do, is there are some people, I'm going to use this, I'm going to say it, because I know that. Certain people who went to the military for some reason, and then when they came from military, they were not able to function in the society for various reasons. I don't mention the reasons. Nevertheless, they considered themselves alienated from the society, and they could not function. And then the possibility of war it's like you go to a movie. Yeah, it's risky, but I know people like that, and they go back, and they do what they do. Some people can function, but in that kind of circumstance. But anyway, it's not about that. So many foreign fighters stood up to defend the republics of Donbass, nationals of Abkhazia, South Ossetia, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Mexico, and US, Serbia, and other countries are among them, end quote, a ministry's spokesman said. He added that the mentioned foreigners are fighting on the side of the LPR People's Militia. And I'm quoting, as a part of the People's Militia, they are fighting side by side with volunteers from Donbass and multinational Russia, because all people of sound mind care about the fate of our region and the entire Russian world, and because there must be no hint on the revival of Nazism anywhere in the world, end quote. The spokesman said, you hinted the propaganda, blah, 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 but nevertheless, the idea is that some people fight on the side of Russia. Their motives are unknown. You can just speculate, but it's a different story. That's speculation. And it says here that it's a paragraph, long paragraph, with the reason why they started the military operation. You know, the operation is target Ukraine and military infrastructure, is to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine and to completely liberate Donbass. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said the operation aims to protect people subjected to genocide by the Kiev regime for 8 years. That's their stance. You can disagree with that, but they say, well, those guys were killing our people, there's genocide, blah, blah, blah. Okay. In response to Russia's operation, Western countries have rolled out a comprehensive sanctions campaign against Moscow and ramped up their military support to Ukraine. Okay, well, that's what it is. So those are the countries. I knew the Serbs were fighting over there, and there are many others from other countries that go and fight over there, but they're not too numerous. And besides, it's a lot of people who live, let's say, Canada, in the United States, who are Russians who went back to fight over there, and they're considered US or so on. Probably there are some that are native from here and so on, but I'm telling you, a lot of them went back. The same thing with the Ukrainians. When Ukraine says, well, they have some Americans and so on, even though the ones that were captured were all native, let's call them Native Americans. That's how I call a person born in the United States of America. Otherwise, you know, native is where you were born, where you were from. You didn't immigrate. I'm not native from America because I was not born here. I came from here. Like, for instance, you know, the Indians. Anyway, thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.